Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Industry Spotlight. We hope that you enjoyed the last two episodes, and today we're going to be discussing some new topics, including the government's glitchy childcare website, Instagram's new API, and Snapchat's in-app shopping section, along with the Northern Digital skills gap.
Yeah, so first thing is this glitchy childcare website that the government's it's been in the press recently on the BBC website. It's to do with people trying to claim childcare benefits back from the government-made website. Now, the government have a lot of problems with these websites. I don't know who keeps putting these projects out, but they have a lot of trouble. I mean, historically, any website with tax relief or claiming benefits, it's had a lot of problems. They've recently revamped a lot of it, and it's come a long way, but you've still got struggles with people putting in all these IDs that they've got to remember and passwords, and it just seems to be never ending. And these projects just seem destined to fail from day one, really, which is a shame, but I don't really know what's going wrong. I mean, the article that I've been reading, it doesn't really shed much light on the exact problem and the exact website even. But it just seems like whenever a government tries to launch a web-based initiative, it just seems to have problems, doesn't it?
It has issues from the start as well, but this article highlighted in the BBC says that it's been live for 8 months and it's still not working, which ain't good enough really for such an important thing. A lot of complaints being put in. I think it just highlights the importance of getting it right from the off, setting it up on staging, testing everything as much as possible before it even goes live to mitigate any issues. Commercial pressure, obviously, from the government's perspective, but
Yeah, and the government seems to be one of those establishments people love to hate when it comes to tech. Now they've had a couple of bashings with NHS digital projects over years and stuff. It just seems like they need to be going that extra mile, like focus groups and research, all that kind of stuff in terms of getting it right before it goes out, because it's just, reputation just takes a beating every time, it seems. It's a bit of an easy target for people.
The trouble is, it's quite a touchy subject, and people trying to get the benefits for this kind of thing. There'll be obviously families that are desperately needing to get hold of this childcare, and if it's taking 8 months to get it to work, there's going to be quite a lot of frustrated families out there, I imagine.
Yep. I guess there's another facet to this, in that making sure your offline support is good enough. So I know they've said people have rang up 100 times to get it sorted. It shouldn't take 100 times, should it? It should take one.
Yeah.
So
if your website is going to fail, customer support needs to be on point.
Yeah, definitely.
I think every government service, they're always slow to react, aren't they?
They seem so just disjointed too. It just seems like whenever there's one of these projects up for grabs, they just give it to, it's like they just pick someone out of the hat and give it to them. There's no official partner. It sounds like they've got an in-house team, or even like I said, an official partner that can distribute these projects to, and the same people are accountable, learn from your mistakes, that type of thing. It seems like they give it to a new company each time, try the luck, and same mistakes get repeated. So might be a lesson learned there in sort of picking a dev partner or a website partner or an IT partner, and just sort of using them over and over again and getting a relationship and a bit of trust there. And they might be able to unify these, going back to what I said a minute ago about IDs, and they might have IDs that you have for government websites, whether it's paying your tax or whatever, just massive strings of numbers.
Yeah.
It's like, what are these things? Can I just have one that works everywhere?
Maybe it's intentional, maybe they don't want to fork out. Be pretty tight.
It'd be good to just have one. I think they have tried to do a gov.uk login portal, try and do a single sign-on thing for all these services, but I'm not sure whether this uses it. It sounds like if it does, then they're having trouble with that themselves. But they don't even tell you exactly which websites are having the problems. Probably trying to keep it out of the public eye a little bit and stop everyone else jumping on it.
Yeah, everybody brings it out though, do they? Have they released a statement or anything saying what they're going to do to deal with the issue, or?
Don't look like it. No. They've done a lot though, and the government keeps sort of redoing these projects. I mean, there's a lot done with the tax on your car and stuff, vehicle tax, and they've redone all that. That seems to have gone quite smoothly.
Yeah, that's pretty good actually, the experience. Well, you don't do it anymore, do you?
Well, yeah, you do it online, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it just happens at direct debit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It seems to have gone all right. But you can see with the design UI, it's almost like Google rolling out the material design stuff. You can see on the new government web projects, they all look the same, they're all really flat, aren't they? Same font and stuff. Similar to what I did over in America a few years ago when healthcare.gov was it, that they redid. The massive hoo-ha about that. They didn't build it and strip it back down and start again. Got loads of really well accredited devs on it, didn't they? Get some Google guys and stuff and sorted it out in the end. Seems like that kind of thing. happens in governments when they distribute these projects out. Yeah.
Stuff.
So it's been in every publication going about Instagram updating their API and moving to the Instagram Graph API, which is the same as the Facebook Graph API. Primarily what it means is marketers, companies, anyone that uses Instagram basically will now be able to schedule posts. A feature that marketers certainly have been banging on about for a long time. I think it now opens the floodgates for Instagram to be ruined in the same way as Facebook. Just an absolute barrage of marketing-based content. Don't know, I think it's probably a bad thing for the platform, but it were always going to happen.
In terms of dev, it's good because you're unifying the API now, hopefully unifying the documentation too. So if you've written some automated Facebook posting algorithm, software, whatever, you should be able to move that across to Instagram pretty swiftly, or bring it in. Then you should be able to roll out across the other platform pretty simple. So that's good for devs. Bad for devs though, because they're getting rid of the old API, so they're deprecating that. I don't know how many years they've put on it until end of life, but any apps you've got running on the old Instagram API, the current Instagram API as it is, then you need to get them off pretty soon. So yeah, they give you like end of life, don't they? It's usually like a couple of years, but
it's like 20. Is it 2020?
Is it 2020? Yeah. Soon comes around when you've got your production website using it.
Yeah, it's not a long time, is it really, in the grand scheme of things?
That's what has to happen though with APIs. If you don't get rid of them, then they'll live on forever, and it's just So you got to cut your loss at some point, and it is a problem though with APIs versioning them. It's a big dev topic.
I think it's made a lot of marketing managers' lives easy though, hasn't it? If you think now that they've been waiting around for it so long. I know they're putting a hell of a lot of requests to get this over the line, but to be able to schedule a post now is just going to make everybody's life easier. And obviously there's not going to be any individual login, so if you've got a marketing team that all use it to schedule posts and things like that, you can all work from one hub now. To distribute your content, which is going to save a lot of time as well.
Seems
so
like
I can see why it's been pushed as heavily as it has been for so long.
They've got straight in with these third-party platforms as well. And I was just looking at now at Hootsuite. There's a quote there from the CEO. I'm pretty sure all the other social automation platforms will be in on this pretty sharpish.
Yeah, Hootsuite were an official partner with Instagram, which is why their first buffer are working on it. I think HubSpot are working on it. So everybody's sort of doing it. It's just these guys had sort of first foot in the door.
Yeah. Like I said, in terms of dev too, if these platforms have already got Facebook integrated, which I know they have, then it should be pretty straightforward to just piggyback Instagram on that. It should be the same type of flow in terms of authentication protocols and stuff.
Yeah, agreed. So the third topic we're going to talk about is the Snapchat in-app shopping section. So they've not done a massive amount to monetize Snapchat so far, other than the standard stories ads and things like that. But now they've opened their own in-app store, which I think generally just focuses on their own merchandise, from what I've read.
Yep, physical products like hot dogs and things like that.
I think there's a lot of reading between the lines here, because if you look at it like this article outlines it on Marketing Land, then they just want to flog their own stuff in the app, but there's more to it than that. I think they might be sort of testing the payment gateways, testing the payment flow, and sooner or later you'll be able to buy other people's stuff through this. I don't think they're just going to be selling their own stuff forever.
It's not a long-term commercial model, is it? They're testing something to find out whether, I think, people are in the right mindset on Snapchat to be able to shop in, and then they'll be working with bigger partnerships, I think, further down the line to figure out how they can monetize it a little bit more. But that, I imagine I don't think they'll do much in terms of sales, if I'm being completely honest. I think it's...
Well, look at the spectacles debacle.
I suspect that every brand that's viable that used Discover or that tested Discover will have a store at some point.
And there's the Twitter ads. You can buy products directly through the Twitter ads, can't you? I think they partner with Stripe or another similar payment provider. So it could end up like that, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Once they've got everyone's card details and they've tested the payment flows out and stuff and sold the small volume of their own gear, then a bit more confidence going to market, something like that.
Yeah, well, Facebook do it as well for like events and stuff like that, don't they? In-app purchases. So I think it's just their response to all that in a way. It's a bit of an unusual way to go about it, if I'm being honest, but selling your own merchandise. But
I think that's a thin front.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think they're testing it. They're going to get everything in play, and then any brand with a demographic of 14 to 25, they'll just hammer them and sell them a store.
It's going to be a lot of young products in it.
I thought the location point that Marketing Land raised were really interesting too. So they're saying that basically they can get the credit card details and the addresses of people, and they can do location-based ads off back of that. So if you're not giving away GPS details or whatever, if they've got your address from so you submit a payment, they could use that to let marketers use to target people.
It's not exactly new. On the frontier of the technology, Facebook's been doing that for quite a long time, really. But yeah, they're quite a bit behind in that sort of targeting, aren't they? So
yeah, Snapchat don't really ask you for much stuff when you sign up. Really, you get your email address and your phone number, and there's not a lot else really.
Yeah.
Other than 100 million photos of yourself, but
yeah. Well, if you consider you can pretty much go down to street level on Facebook targeting, so
yeah. But does that rely on your GPS, or is that from your?
It's from your physical details.
Yeah, I wonder if you sort of
for like
blocked your
remarketing and
GPS.
stuff like that. So if you've got a list of your details, like your shipping details and all that kind of thing, you can plug that in to Facebook.
Yeah, but I wonder if that relies on the user's GPS on the phone being enabled and reporting back to Facebook exactly where you are.
Right, yeah.
That's what I mean. So Snapchat, so say you've got that disabled, Snapchat are going to obviously glean some actual addresses out of people regardless of your GPS data.
Yeah.
So
If I were Snapchat, I'd be going to DJ Khaled and saying, right, we're going to partner you with K-Swiss, we're going to create a pop-up store in New York, you're going to do a filter that's New York based saying I'm in Central Park, come and get 500 pairs of K-Swiss, buy them through Snapchat there and then. That's pretty much how I see it popping off. I don't think they're going to be able to really leverage it much more than that.
Yep. And if they want to sell their own spectacles again, I mean, did you see how they tried to sell them last time? They just put their vending machines up in random places. I saw one at British Summertime Festival in London. Yeah, it's just a yellow box. I didn't even have to say Snapchat on it, and then there's just a card machine on it. And you got to queue up to get them, but no one knew what it was. It was just a yellow box, like an inconspicuous box. And you put your card in, you pay like 100 and something quid, and then a pair of glasses just fall out at the bottom.
I reckon
It's all cryptic, and they didn't sell very much.
anybody above the age of like 30 wouldn't have even made that association, would they?
There was literally me and the whole thing that knew what this vending machine was. And I went up to say, I've never seen one.
Did it have a ghost on it?
I think it had I think it was basically just yellow and white. I don't know if it had a ghost on it. It probably did.
That's a bit of
But it didn't have
delusion
anything
there,
more
isn't it?
on it other than a card slot and a price label. I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah, I think they're thinking they've got the brand equity and recognition of Nike there.
That's a bit ballsy, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
they definitely-
Like I say, it's only going to appeal to a certain demographic there, isn't it, really?
Yeah. They don't mind doing the weird marketing tactics though, do they, obviously? I guess with tech like that, they might have been better off partnering with Apple stores or something, physical stores. Should have been there.
Should have just sold it to
Afterwards,
Facebook.
chaps. Yeah, sold the whole company to Facebook. Yeah.
How much are they worth now?
I don't know, it's a bit rocking. I mean, Facebook offered them $5 billion when it were first conceived.
It's a lot of money.
And they turned it down. Maybe that is reflected in this giant yellow box that they've got.
Yeah, well, Facebook haven't had a go at sort of brick and mortar or anything, have they, I suppose?
Well, Facebook have got Marketplace, haven't they? That's their sort of foray into e-com.
But have they sold their own gadgets yet? I don't think they have to public.
I don't remember any record of it now. Not really. Don't like Marketplace though. It cheapens it. It makes it feel really sort of boot saley. I know
like
that's what it
Craigslist.
is and that's the intention of it, but
Yeah,
it's
it's Craigslist, isn't it, in Facebook?
I don't think Snapchat will turn into that. That'd be too weird. The Snapchat's not a store thing. Because that's what Marketing Land says, isn't it? Says it might be more of a Facebook Marketplace compare, but
Yeah.
it seems a bit weird, that, to me.
We shall see.
Yep. Interesting.
Okay, so the final piece, we're going to talk about the northern digital skills gap and the shortage of talent versus the amount of tech jobs that are available. Big players such as Sky seem to be able to just pay as much as they want for talent, making it really difficult for other companies that have got that requirement to get the talent to then grow. So there's initiatives that have been put in place to try and solve that.
Well, Sky themselves have got an initiative, haven't they? As such, they keep sort of plugging this idea that they've got a sort of a digital campus, or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah.
And I think you get this a lot of big players now, even no matter how much money they've got, it still seems a short of talent, as they like to put it all the time.
yeah. I think they're under pressure out there from like government bodies as well to start being more proactive in those kind of areas.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I think they're trying to make it a core sort of learning and course within school as well now, to make sure that people are aware of the digital ecosystem, because they only still get taught the stuff that we probably got taught in school.
Do programming now, like a 12-year-old, don't they, in some schools?
That's new though.
Yeah, it is.
I think the speed in which technology has moved along has just left the education system completely behind. They can't put a curriculum together on something that they probably don't understand.
Yeah, it's impossible to teach, really. And there's not even enough expertise out there to go in and teach that to all the schools around the UK, I guess.
Apprenticeships. Yeah, that's what should happen.
That's another problem with this talent word. People are expecting really well qualified people to be able to walk into these jobs. Seems like people like Sky are a bit shy of employing sort of lesser sort of experienced people into the roles. They just want to get the mega experienced people, obviously, of which there are a few. Yeah. So then the flip on its head, and it's like, right, well, let's just employ people with no experience, then we'll just train them in these campus things. Which is obviously, that's a government-backed initiative that a lot of these companies are doing, isn't it?
That creates an issue in itself though, because that just overprices everybody. You get someone then that will go to Sky for 2 years that will then come for a job at Flaunt Digital wanting 15 grand more than they're worth based on their experience. Which is a vicious circle.
Yeah. I think apprenticeships is a really good route for this though. I think not enough digital-based businesses take advantage of it, because it's something that kids are going to be interested in, young people are going to be interested in. Why not get them in and train them up and get them into it straight away?
Yep. I'm sure it'll sort itself out once the economy comes around in however many years. Like say, if they're teaching 12-year-olds out of program now, in 12 years time or whatever, when the career's picked up a bit, I'm sure there will be loads of tech people knocking about, won't there?
It's the trouble though, like you say, it moves at such a speed that how do you keep up with it? How do you, for example, teach somebody, the basics of SEO or PPC, and like we were saying on last week's episode about voice search and things like that, it's going to be a completely different ballgame by the time they're potentially ready to enter. Yeah, it's just going to be redundant, isn't it?
Yeah. And then in 12 years time when everyone's a programmer, well, they won't have any Sparkies or and then we'll have a shortage. Yeah. Shortage of that. It's a fine line, it's tough. I mean, we're not in the education game, are we? But I guess it's a pretty fine line when you're changing curriculums to try and not screw the economy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ending on a positive note though, it's nice to see that there's a massive amount of tech jobs up north as opposed to down south.
Yep.
Just shows Leeds, I think Leeds, Manchester, all becoming digital hubs, all bringing talent from down south now, so good for the region.
Big players know they can pay smart short salaries as well, which is one of the reasons why Sky are up here now.
Yeah.
Move the London stuff to Leeds, and God knows how much money they saved on wages.
It's a good incentive for people to get into it though, because doesn't it pay, digital jobs pay something like 42% more than the average salary in the UK. So it's a massive incentive for people to get into it. I think that statistic only really applies for the north, but still an encouraging route if you're considering it.
Yep.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Industry Spotlight. Join us next week for episode 4.
Bye. I'm not having that.